Morning, guys. Mark Farash with ProTech Dog Training. Yeah, I know, kind of a weird spot to sit here and do a video and chat at the screen. It's real early in the morning this morning. I've got a lot of pretty heavy mind going on right now. For those of you that don't know it, I'm selling my house and going to be using the proceeds to go on in life and to keep doing what I love to do, which is dogs. I will be moving to a breeder's place that is a rancher and a breeder of German Shepherd dogs that's in the area, helping him to establish some of his dogs and hold back some of his puppies that he hasn't been able to do because he's not a trainer, he's a breeder. We're going to be holding back a couple dogs here, a couple dogs there, some of his better dogs, and shaping and molding those dogs and imprinting them towards working animals, personal protection, obedience, and a little bit more directed towards what a dog is when I turn it out. For those of you that don't really have not gotten to know me, you can realize that I've been doing this since I've been about 12 years of age. I actually started dreaming about being a dog trainer at 8, and I couldn't have a dog, and at 12 I finally got given my first dog, and it's been everything with me. It's been everything that I do has been directed towards what I love in life, which is dogs and dog training. And I've ate, breathed, and sleep dogs for many years, living in the back of kennels, servicing the public. I'm a little bit different in that respect. I took off out of my hometown after training dogs from a young age, being professional at 16, working in my small hometown and doing my thing. And for 2 years, I worked for a training firm there, and then I took off to Oakland, California, and lived in the back of one of the largest facilities in the Bay Area for 2 years, in eating, breathing, sleeping dogs. And I came back and opened my own business, had that going for 5 or 6 years, and life kind of just takes you here and there. But in a general sense, I have been doing dogs, eating, breathing, sleeping dogs since I've been a very young age, with some gaps in between. But I'm back at it heavy now for the last 2 years, and I'm loving what I do, and this is who I am. That was my first identity in life as a child, was Mark Farash, the dog trainer, and I gave that up because of life's ups and downs for a while. But I'm back at it, and I love doing what I'm doing, and I'm not going to give this up. This is who I am. So I will be taking the proceeds and moving and going to this facility and taking care of their dogs and helping them out. And then I'm going to take off within the first couple months in September. The big KNVP nationals and all that are going on in Holland, and that's what my goal is, to try to be able to go to Holland and experience that. To me, it'll be a lifetime trip. I've got introduced to a gentleman over there that has been doing KNVP and working with Malinois and Dutch Shepherds and the whole lifestyle of that for the last 40 years. And that being the case, hopefully this is going to be the connection I need to be able to go over and have a experience of a lifetime, at the same time grow a friendship with our mutual love of dogs, and be able to start getting some dogs imported over for a breeding program that I'm going to be starting with a Dutch Shepherd. Why am I doing the Dutch Shepherd is because he's a working dog. So I've done my whole life is working dogs. Not that I haven't worked every other breed you can possibly think of, from min pins to poodles to everything. And there's no dog that I haven't touched over the years servicing the public in kennels that I've trained dogs with. So so I'm going to take off over to Holland and bring me back some dogs, and then start a pretty good breeding program with those animals. So that's what I'm up to. But so it's real heavy on my mind right now. Just what I really started this was to talk about Mori. A lot of you guys that know me and are personal friends of mine know Mori, and you know that I've raised that dog from a very young age. It was 16 weeks of age when I got him and imported him in from a kennel, a police dog kennel over in New Mexico. And he's been everything I could ever want. That dog is just excellent. I've tailored him towards being my demo dog, which means something I can go out and show off with and give demonstrations to my customers and go to places to do demos for Tractor Supply or wherever I go. And I've been doing that already with him, and he's made me proud. The dog's a hell of a dog, and I'm going to be selling him. He's hopefully going to go to a new home here. There's a gentleman that's an executive that owns a large company that's going to be coming in to check him out on Saturday, matter of fact, and I may not have him after the weekend, and it's going to hurt. I'm not going to deny it, but this is what I do. This is the trade in life that I have, and I love it. So anytime I can have a new puppy and put my energy into something new, it'll replace that pain, and that's what I have to do. It's something that who you are as a dog trainer. Who I am is a person that loves raising puppies and taking it like it's a piece of clay, and it is. It's a piece of art to me. It's a signature piece of art. I'm very good at it. Taking a very young life and molding that life to become something that is more extraordinary than most people realize. I call it a signature piece of art because you won't get a better dog if I've touched it. And those of you that have bought my dogs, we've got a gentleman out there with a Czech Shepherd by the name of Achilles. He's in Oregon, and that dog is protecting home and family up there, and he knows what I'm talking about. And we've got a guy in the Bay Area. I need to relax here a little bit. I'm getting teared up because I'm sitting there thinking about letting go of Mori. Okay, so these people know what they have, and they have a dog that they will never get another better dog, and they know that, and so that reputation is what I'm after building. Is building a reputation of producing a product that most people will never have. I don't do sport. I do family, executive protection. I do police dogs, that kind of thing. That's what I'm trying to grow when I'm working a dog, and I'm very good at it. The person that gets Mori, wherever he may end up, and I'm going to find out more about that as I get introduced to this gentleman. And he's referred from basically a middleman, a good friend of mine that's another trainer that has a little bit more access to the Hollywood crowd and to executives, that kind of thing. He's been training for years as well. And he and I both knew each other way back in the Cesar Millan days. So it's interesting. We found each other after 20 years and all of a sudden say, hey, I know you. It's really great. So we're going to get Mori placed doing what I train to do. That's what it's all about. That for me, that's what fulfills my psychological needs. We've been talking about psychological needs of the animal, but the psychological needs that fulfill me is to have my animals go to places that the dog is fulfilling what I've trained them to do. It's very important to me. I let a dog go, a Dutch Shepherd. You guys probably know Dutch. Those of you that know me close. And the gentleman that bought him is a good guy, don't get me wrong, but the dog didn't go to what I really wanted him to go to, which was a police department or something. That's what that dog deserved to do. He had all that in him and then some. The dog was excellent. Dutch was kick-ass and take names. And he's protecting the gentleman in a restaurant. He's a restaurant owner. So it's worthy, but I was really upset at that sale. So I've learned a little bit, and I'm going to keep doing that. Qualifying my buyers is going to be something I get tougher and tougher with as I start to become a little bit more aggressive with my what I turn out, how many dogs I turn out. Right now, I turn out anywhere from 1 to 3 dogs a year. As it goes along, I'm going to be turning out because I'm going to have people working with me. I'm going to be hiring some apprentice trainers and teaching them what it's all about. And then getting the help I need to develop the dogs, and I'll have more available. More dogs, that's my goal, is to have anywhere from 5 to 10 dogs would be a great thing to be able to turn out a year. Besides all the other services that I do, the privates, the groups, the other training. You can't, and no man can nowadays can take a business and only do one thing. You can't do it. You've got to try to get as varied as possible with the services that you give to try to increase your income and to make a living doing what we do. So, but I would like to be able to turn out 5 to 10 dogs a year and get to that point that I'm turning those out. And these dogs are dogs that could go to the military, could go police, could go personal protection, or what we call executive protection. And that's where Maury's going to go. He's going to go into hopefully an executive protection or whatever he ends up. I'll let you know more, but I'm definitely going to be qualifying the owner a little bit and finding out what purpose this dog is going to be doing and what is he going to be fulfilling for the owner. That's very important to me. I was recently, there was some things dropped as far as Department of Defense and some other things that were being looked at. And I've got some negative responses in that regard. So their whole program is debatable, and I want to dig into that too and find out a little bit more about their program and what they offer the dog as far as his life. I know that it needs to be filled, but we're talking the military, and the military for the longest time has had an attitude that the animal is a piece of machinery and not really fulfilling a role that we want in society, civilians want the dog to fulfill, which is a bond with a handler and an owner that does a job. And they're starting to get better, I think. There were some situations over in Iraq and over in the Middle East that dogs were left procurement and they were left in kennels over there, and we've had to fight to get them back. And so society and us as a whole, it's a civilian attitude, is starting to become involved with that. And I think the military is very aware of it, that it's a public relations situation that they need to address and try to make sure that these dogs have the best life that they can, even into their retirement. And that's only because of there's organizations that are doing it. There's private organizations that are working hard to step in and do their part to fulfill that. Without that, it wouldn't be getting done as well. And the military sure as heck wouldn't be doing it without that pressure coming from the public. And so that's changing a little bit. So I kind of shied away from thinking that I wanted my dog to go to the Department of Defense or go into any of their programs until I really dig in and really find out what that means to the dog in his life. I don't really want Mori to end up in that situation. So I will be qualifying this buyer. I want to know where this dog is going before I make the sale. This dog is a hell of a dog. And basically belongs, if you really wanted to put him towards personal protection and really doing the utmost, would be to place him in the White House. That would be something that would be great for my dogs as they go along. And that's what I'm after. I'm after to be the echelon, the higher echelon of building a dog to have the confidence that's needed to go on. And I think Mori could do that. Mori could go on and do SWAT entry. He could do any of that type of job classification because of the way I built him. And now he's ready to go to their programs and be able to be fostered into anything like that. There's no qualms about it. I know dang well the dog would do very well at it. To be trained to be put in harness, to rappelling down lines, to do all that would be something that Mori would kick ass and take names at it because I built him for that. I built him from a very young age with building confidence and going towards protection, and he's ready to do that. He's ready to go to what I call the real. He's ready to be flipped into the real. He's at that point right now that he's a little bit equipment orientated. We've been doing some muzzle work, going into underarm, and then you start hitting him with scenarios and all that. And with the right training program, this dog could go to the moon. I mean, he's that good of a dog. And for those of you that know me and you know Mori, you know what I'm talking about. This dog can do anything that I want him to do, or that anybody else wants him to do with the proper training and curriculum and structure training program. To teach him to do any of this. He's been learning to learn since he's been a baby. So, all right, so that's pretty much it. Mori may not be with me anymore. That means I'm going to be light a demo dog, and what I'm going to do in that case is I'm going to put this boy to work. And this boy is Joker. He's got some pretty good lineage. His grandsire, from what I understand, is Cartouche out of Ivan Balabanov, and he was a mistake. And I usually snatch those mistakes up. He had some darn good breeding behind him, but he was too early and didn't have his hips, and all that stuff was all checked out. So his paperwork wasn't all there. So that being the case, he dog without papers. And he's a lot like me. I'm getting into that a little bit. So I'm Italian, so I'm a WAP. I'm a without papers. So I don't really mind that at all, as long as I can get a little bit of an attitude and understanding where the dog's lineage came from, because that's what I do, train dogs. And dogs to me are not something that is regulated to a piece of paper that has to have a parent registry and all the bullshit that comes with it. As long as I understand where that dog's background is from and know that he's a well-bred dog. And as you can tell, Joker, that is a well-bred dog. So Joker's not going to have any problems. I'm going to put all my emphasis into him when Mori's gone, and the pain will subside soon. And as long as I know that Mori's got a good home and he's being put to work, that's what's important to me. The dog needs to be put to work. It's not something, he can't be just owned by a restaurant owner. And no offense to you out there, and I won't say the name, but bottom line is that dog that you have with the Dutch Shepherd by the name of Dutch that you bought deserved to be on a police department, deserved to be in a high echelon job classification. That dog was hell on wheels, a hell of a dog. And you know that because you own him. But to be stuck in the backyard, traveling with you to the restaurant, and be stuck in a kennel all day as long as you're working in the restaurant, then ride with you in your car back home, is not the life that dog should have had. And I know you love him, and I know he's got a good life. He's eating well. But the dogs that I produce are a lot more than that. They're working dogs that need to be put to work. So we're going to find out who this gentleman is this weekend, and we're going to find out if he's going to qualify for even getting my dog. So we'll find out what happens. And if he does buy the dog and he does get the dog, that dog will be the best dog he's ever had. And hopefully my name will go up a ladder, and I'll start to be able to place anywhere from 3 to 5, 10 dogs a year. That's what we're after. So that's what we're working towards. We don't do sport. We do personal protection, executive protection, and we do dogs that are going to be able to go towards high echelon of working dogs out there. So I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good day, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.